Hey yo, this is another video. So that's I wanna you're gonna see a slew of them come out from me. I'm gonna be very busy, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's get right to it. This one's gonna be about the alter ego or alter self. Now, everybody has their alter ego and alter self. Everything in every living thing has a spirit, but everything doesn't have a soul. But your soul, that's the thing. That's the funny part. Coming into your altered self or who you really are, a lot of people, it might take a whole lifetime to realize it. Most people might take a lifetime to realize it, or some people might take a few years. It depends on like what the circumstances are, what they're going through. So by going through hardships or going through things that'll be detrimental, and you're back against the wall, your back's on the ropes. What can you do? Like, you hurt yourself, and you still gotta make this deadline. What will you do? Will you still be around mentally to push through that shit, physically to push through that shit? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Like, the alter self is like, it wants to come through. Your alter self wants to come through. When it wants to come through, it's seeing that you're not doing what it needs to do to get something accomplished. So they say dig deep, right? Okay. So like that's a reason why the bottom chakra, or out of the seven chakra systems, is red. It's like, think about like you're seeing somebody getting mad, or they getting mad or whatever. Like, that means the blood is getting in their face, right? But it's like, well, that's like, say if it's like a light skinned person. When we only see, I'm only keeping this only for like, all the videos I'm dropping is only really for highly melanated people, so-called black people, so-called African American people. So let's get. Every video I pretty much is dropping is mainly for that. Like, all videos that I drop is only for my people that look like me. Even though I know everybody that looks like me ain't for what I'm for, or ain't like me. So that's why I say, but it's ones that look just like me, highly melanated people, of course, and let you see what's going on. So I am highly melanated person and all that. So, but yeah, back into my mind in the darkness. So yeah, so going through hardships, you're able to, in order for to get something accomplished, your soul. See, that's so crazy. I read something today that I had made a video about yesterday, and I ended up reading something, and it came how I read it yesterday, like how I made the video yesterday, and it had what I read today was like confirmation. That's how things. I turned to a random page, and then when I was reading it, I was like, okay, let me get back to the beginning of that section I was reading, and then when I ran into it. I ended up reading something I ended up making a video about the day before. And that's how things happen. That means I'm on the right path, and I'm not going against the grain. I'm not going against what I'm supposed to, like, or I'm not going to go on this road. Because a certain road you're supposed to go on, it entails what you're going to go through. And what you're going to go through is going to be something that's going to help you and bring out your alter self. So, since I told you that what this video is about, let's give you some let's get right I'm gonna get through, be like done talking. So I gave you a good enough definition of what the alter self is trying to do, or will do, if you taking your ego out of the situation. So like they always say, like Bobby Hemmett says, to 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 exterminate or control the ego, so where you don't have an ego. That means you can learn any and everything, because the ego wants to stay around to the point where, oh, I feel like I'm certified, I'm a master at this. But that if that's the case, then you won't be trying to learn anything else, because you too concerned with being a master at one thing. And say, yeah, I'm a master at health, or I'm a master at food, I'm a master at building houses, I'm a master at whatever it is. You're a master at playing basketball, whatever. And people don't end up learning anything else, and that's all they either pretty much get known for, or only one thing they want to project about themselves. So that's why I've taken things, and like taken what he said, Bobby Hemmett said, and become well faceted to the point where you put me somewhere to do something, Like you ain't gotta look over my shoulder so many times or anything. Just tell me what needs to be done, whatever, and it's gonna get done to the ability you said to have it done, or max that. You know, what I'm saying, take it to the max, like Prince said, take it to the max. So I'm gonna stop talking. Good, we got great time. 5 minutes, 13 seconds in. So let's get right to that. At them examples. So the examples is because a lot of people are visual people, and a lot of people, some people are readers, and some people can hear something and go from there. So like, I want you to be, you know what I'm saying. So I try to have it to where the people that's not the other, one or the other, can get something out of it. When our people can get, when highly melanated people, so-called black people, can get something out of it, and if it makes sense, you know what I'm saying. That's all that really matters. If it makes sense to them, that's what's matter. If it ain't for them, they can walk away. You know what I mean? But let's get right into it. 555 Necronomicon. Okay, so as you can see, so I was very, very meticulous about this. When I watched this film again years later down the line, it's when you have information, you get all learning information, and you have watched a film in your life. I'm gonna give you a hint and a very good clue. Another thing Bobby Hemmett would say: if you get movies, back in the day he was talking about VHS or whatever, DVD around that time. So like, if you like Blu-rays or whatever, if you get these things, do not get rid of them. It's always good to have your own copy of it, so you can always, when you watch it one time, or if it's like on a digital, or if it's on like a streaming service, is it a way? Will there be a way for you to see it again? You know what I'm saying? Instead of you paying for it again or having it to be recorded. So that's why having physical copies of things are very detrimental in these times, because these are, because I'm gonna tell you something also. I'm gonna get right into the video. I ain't trying to take your time. The ancestors, they actually put a contract on people in Hollywood. This is something my ancestors had gave me. I'm gonna give y'all the information. So our ancestors gave people that's in Hollywood a certain contract. They have to come out with these movies dealing with mythology and dealing with certain things for us to see certain signs in movies. See, they long as they're putting this stuff out, this stuff can happen. But it's up to us as so-called black people, highly melanated people, highly melanated people, and so-called African American people, to break this stuff down and get a high digestion of it and understand what's going on. That's why I say, if you get your hands on some of these movies, cartoons, um, um, comic books, video games, whatever your interest is. I don't really play video games. I don't play video games at all anymore. It's been years since I played a video game, because I got. It's like the movie The One, when he got rid of different versions of himself to become the one. I am the one. I am the one. So when he said that in the movie, he got rid of all those versions of himself to be the best version of who he is. Okay, so let me get into what I'm talking about, the actual alter ego. So you see the time mark, right? Now watch this. Whoa, what did happen? See, the same time mark, right? So if I don't really have to get into it, but I'll just go ahead and say it's Fight Club, or whatever. But it's a very highly, people don't think about it because it's brutal, and people will be like, "Oh, it's just a brutal movie." But that's what Bobby Hemming was saying. Y'all need to go watch that movie, Fight Club. And y'all sleeping on it, and boy, oh boy, when I watched it and I got the information I got, I ain't seen this movie in years. When I watched it, I was like falling out of my chair, like this shit here is because you seen people get their face beat in, their body beat in, you won't think it's so meticulously highly conscious or highly informative on certain things. It is very, so that's why I say certain lessons can come through different formats. So it's good to be mind and stomach strong, but not to be so queasy with things. Something so valuable can pass over your head. So that's the alter ego, right? All within a second. He was making himself visual. He was, picture yourself standing right here, right? This is the office you work in. That was a altered version of himself. So that's how he is. Every once in a while, you like, man, you're not acting the same. Something about you is changing. Yeah, that's your alter ego, your alter self coming through. When it's coming through, people don't understand it because that's what everybody's crazy. I always say that to people. Everybody's crazy, but it's just what it depends on what they decide to show you. Everybody's crazy. So let's keep it going. Let me show. I marked every one of those when I seen this in a movie, and I wanted to get into it and show you. Pay attention. Watch this. Did you see that? See, he looking, and he's like, whoa. But it's something in himself he had saw. So watch. Okay, here it comes, right? Now, what time is it? Oh, there it goes again. What time is it? Now watch this. I'm gonna show you something. So that's how they can do that. It's certain, like they can put subliminal message. If you watch the film, you understood why they did that. But watch the film for yourself, and you just pay attention to what the wording is saying. We always like to see the action in the sex scenes or what kind of costumes people are wearing. They do all these different awards, but dialogue that gets looked over a lot in a lot of these award shows. So when it gets looked over, it's a reason why it gets looked over. Some of the writers get looked over because that's a lot of people don't want to hear the talk and they want to see visual things. So see what I'm saying? So this is tenth of a millisecond. So that's why I say the altered self is starting to come in more and more through this character. So he's becoming that person more and more and not realizing it. Pay attention. Watch all in the same second. So these frames in between frames, you see him looking at his reflection. He's coming throughout the movie more and more. So you look at the different times, the times in between, you've been seeing it come in more and more. So that means he's coming in to what his altered self truly and really is. Okay, here's a window. So the more and more he's starting to pass through more and more. That means he's really turning into another self, to where he couldn't really get any sleep. So if he's not getting any sleep, well, in this case, he was getting sleep, and then something happened. Well, I don't want to tell the movie. I want you to watch it for yourself. So the thing is, getting good deep sleep is very important. Deep sleep is very important. There's ways you can get deep sleep through natural and things you can buy over the counter to get deep sleep. So more than likely, I'm gonna do something about that, about a video about that. But yeah, in time. To a point where he's really not getting any sleep. So now he's starting to pull in more. He's pulled in. So that's why they say it's always healthy. They say it's healthy to, even though in society, it's like you talking to yourself and they'll judge you or talk to you. But when you start to talk to your higher self or your altered self, they call it the HGA in the occult realm, or higher guardian angel. So when you start to do that, you're actually talking to what you're supposed to be, what you're gonna become. What you're gonna become, and when you have a certain task or a job to do, because these certain dimensions, you have to have something accomplished to get something accomplished. If you might have not have done in your last life or previous lives, this will be the time to get all those things done while you're here, while you realize it. But they say it's no time like the present, because there is no present, only past and future. Because every second is the future, and every second that it past you is your past. So if you're looking at the present, if you're looking at as a present, then that's a freeze frame, like this. That's the present. The present frozen. That's like a gift, like a freeze frame. Somebody give you a picture. Now you took a picture of that present. Now they're giving you a present of that part in time. So now we're going to the future. If you're going to the future, now we can easily go back to the past by thinking about certain things. Now I'm gonna give you a present. So it's how you look at it. That's this scene right here. So you see him sitting, his alter ego, alter self sits right there, and he was like, so the things they were asking him what happened. He said he fell on a flight of stairs, and he's like, I fell on a flight of stairs. He said it's got to the point where he was starting to answer for me, but you would, in the movie you would hear him say it, but in deep down inside, that's why they say the monster or the snake or Teham in Revelations or the Necronomicon. They talk about the great mother Tiamat, the snake. So that's what they're pretty much saying is the inner self or the higher self. It can only transpire through things happening to oneself, as in torment, something treacherous that happened to you, something that something you got, it was horrendous to get through, or it was just really fucked up to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So we can use all these big words, but they sometimes using like curse words, whatever. You get the real gist of the emotion, what's coming out, what the person is trying to get across. So that's why I say we can speak that talk like that or whatever, or you can speak it to where everybody can get it. That's why being well versed in certain different things and look at a lot of different things or being a part of different things, you can be in different crowds and understand where you at and know who you are and not get yourself lost in something, because you know who you are before you walk into this place or walk into this group of people, or into the point where you don't just end up changing, because you have to know who you are. So your alter self is your higher guardian angel, to the point where no one can influence any of everything that you're doing. The thing is, you want to be, it's like an experience you're having. So if you're having that experience, you're like, okay, now I'm adjusted. Now I get what's going on. So it was fun, but I want to get back to what I wanted to do. So a lot of people can't. They'll get out in the life and they'll be trapped in that life. So it's about you being strong enough or going through some hard things to the point where you got to be strong enough to get through it. And when you get through it, you'll be even stronger or even better for going through something so heavy on you or heavy on your heart. Because like lifting weights, if you only lift the same small amount of weights, you know you can lift it, and you don't even decide to lift it more times, or you don't decide to put on more weight, you're actually just coasting and standing at like a dead level. So like when you see like the heart monitor in the hospital, it's like a beep. You see the line like a zigzags because it's a beep, or it's a beat on the heart. That's a boom, boom. It's a heartbeat. So that's how you see it. That's how we see it. So when you see it on that heart monitor like that, but when the person is dead, it's a straight line, beep, straight line across, right? So that means there's nothing coming from that. So you're not really living. So if you're not lifting your weight or going against the grain to get something better out of your situation, you're only doing yourself a detriment, and you're not even trying. So, but when you're trying to figure something out or trying to get through something, to get somewhere, that's when you start seeing results. All right? So that's all I have on the alter ego. Peace. Nigga.